Hello, everyone. Um, Hello and welcome. So I'm like seeing everyone on my screen, but I think that might just be how it is. Um, Hello, friends of Abortion Academy. Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Abortion Academy, special for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm on my phone because I have a non-existent I almost just said abortion connection. That's not true. I have a lot of abortion connections. Internet connection, not so much. So I'm on my phone and it looks really fucked up, and I am probably not going to be able to be as responsive with things in the chat as normal, but we're going to figure it out. This is also a very special Abortion Academy because we're, what, 4 days into a new Trump administration, and what a 4 days it has been. It's like, I feel like we've just been in a whole season of Januaries and it just keeps happening. So that's a lot. Hope everybody's hanging in. And it's also very special because we are joined by one of our most sacred friends in the the worldwide abortion girl gang, and that is Natalia. Natalia, is your last name pronounced Broniarczyk?
Perfect. Yes.
No.
Hi.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
I asked
Yes.
ChatGPT right before my internet went away.
Really, really good. And it's not easy. So really,
I
yes.
spelt it
Hi.
out phonetically. Um, if you are here, you probably know who Nat is, and you probably know about our connection. But before we go any further, let me just introduce Abortion Academy and myself. My name is Amelia Bono. I use she, her pronouns. I am the executive director of Shout Your Abortion, which is a nationwide organization working to normalize abortion and elevate paths to access regardless of legality. We make resources, campaigns, and media intended to arm existing activists, create new ones, and foster collective participation in abortion access all over the country and the world, really. We're working at a global scale at this point. And Abortion Academy is a monthly webinar series where we introduce you to one of our especially brilliant colleagues. And we hope that these more long-form conversations will deepen your knowledge, help you connect some dots between issues that you're navigating regionally and what's happening at the national and international level, and ultimately to give you fresh ideas to take back into your community. Audience members will be off camera and muted for security reasons, but you will be able to ask questions in the chat throughout the session. And this is going to be a more informal Abortion Academy, as opposed to ones where people have a presentation and I'm off camera and then we chat about it afterwards and you ask questions. This will be more conversational, and you can feel free to ask questions in the chat throughout, and the SYA staff is going to try and alley-oop them to me in a place where I can see them on my computer. We'll see how it goes. And also, we have live Spanish translation available. Shout out Maria and Diana. And so to access that, you can just go to the globe in the bottom right of your screen, I believe, and just set it to the language that you'd like to hear this presentation in. So we're so happy to be with Nat today. It's not really possible to articulate how important our connection has been. We have been connected, I think, since about 2016, but we first met like in the flesh at abortion camp in Poland in 2021, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Which, yeah, so like we've only been, in it, like we've only been seeing, and since then we've seen each other a lot all over the States. And I've been to Poland, a number of S.A.F.E staff have been to Poland a number of times. And I think that we have an incredible, like, symbiotic relationship where we teach each other things, we support each other, we I think see and understand each other's lives and struggles in a way that few other people do. And also our struggles are different, but they're very similar. And in this way that I think allows us to like share complementary forms of like expertise and perspective. And for SYA, you know, being able to be in close community with people who have been living under total abortion bans for decades, there's nothing that could possibly be more more important to us in terms of knowledge than like these relationships. And you know, I think that Americans often fall into this very exceptionalist like form of thinking where we like, I think we just never thought that this would happen to us. Even those of us who like kind of knew it would on paper, it's like we've really thought that we were different. We've thought that this whole American experiment, this whole democracy thing, like that it was more unbreakable than we are learning in real time than it is. And I think that beyond just like the tangible, like teach us about pills, teach us about building networks, like the just perspective on like other people have been here before. The whole rest of the world really has been here before for a very long time. And I think that like the sooner we get out of thinking that we're different and realize that we're here and talk to the people who have been here for a very long time, the sooner that we can like start learning and get to work, you know? So Nat's official bio is that Natalia is a Polish abortion rights activist. She is a member of Abortion Dream Team, which was created in October 2016 to help people in Poland source and safely take abortion pills in a country where abortion is illegal in nearly all circumstances. As part of the Abortion Dream Team, or ADT, Natalia provides people with information and support on self-managed abortion and works to creatively combat abortion stigma in Poland, including publicly talking about abortion medication in a televised, widely publicized constitutional tribunal, which was just the best political theater that the world has ever seen.
That was, thank you. That was Polish Parliament. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the this mistake. I wish I would do it in Polish tribunal, constitutional tribunal, but probably it would never happen because they are like they are even worse than your Supreme Court, like really. But yes, thank you for having me. And as a I don't know, proof to show how our friendship is strong, I have this just in front
Oh
of
my
me.
gosh.
And I think this is the postcard I received from SYI in 2017, I think. And this is, you know, just in front of me whenever I'm working. So yes, you are a huge inspiration. And the stigmatization of abortion is much easier in Poland, thanks to you also, because yes, I'm a fan, and whole Abortion Dream Team is a fan.
We are super fans of each other, and it's just one of the coolest things that's ever happened. And like you know, this whole everything about like SYA and what I get to do in my life feels just like a real honor, you know, and a blessing. But like our relationship is maybe one of the most special parts. And it's in part because it's just a trip to like go to another corner of Earth and see that people are using your shit in a way that's like making their lives better. I'll just never be over it. And you are making our lives better as well, specifically by like being like, guys, chill the fuck out. You got this. And
Yes.
talking to us about how to do it. And that's really like what we're going to talk about today. Again, in like a pretty loose conversation, but Natalia, okay, wait, before we get into that though, I just had a sort of a question not about the United States, which is about Justina's trial. So folks may remember that Justina, who is another member of Abortion Dream Team, was charged. She was the first European activist to be charged with distribution of abortion pills. Justina provided pills to a Polish woman who was in a domestic violence situation, and was then like busted by her partner, and then Justina was like, her house was raided and she was charged with this crime. And it's been a really horrible, like stressful. Justina is kind of like the den mother of this movement in Poland, and has really been responsible for creating a lot of the networks of support that like people are still using. And it seems like the idea of Justina being punished or having to go away like has just been totally unbearable and very, very stressful for the whole Polish movement. And Justina has faced one trial that was last year, and she was sentenced to, oh, and also the best part of this is that Justina's response to this whole situation was, yes, I did this. I'm not sorry. I would do it again. We're doing this forever. You can never, we're all doing it. You can't catch all of us. And S.A.F.E mounted a solidarity campaign. The Abortion Dream Team had a campaign called Jak Justina, which means I am Justina. Like, we are all capable of helping each other. We are all doing it. And S.A.F.E had a campaign, a solidarity campaign that was using the language, behind each one of us is 10 more. And we did some fun postering and sent a bunch of shit to our Polish friends who used it outside of trials and things like that. But I know that there's an update because Justina appealed this conviction, and now she's going back to court at the end of the month. Is that correct?
Yes, the appeal gonna happen next Thursday, so in 7 days, and everything can happen. Like, really, I don't know. As for the first trial, I knew that she's gonna be convicted because it was quite obvious. The government was very anti-abortion at that time, and the general prosecutor was clearly also anti-abortion, so we knew that they will convict her. But right now everything can happen, and I have to say that we are really we're gonna be surprised next Thursday, because they can say that she's guilty, but they will give her again this kind of, you know, punishment.
It was probation, right?
Yes,
Or something?
but also 30 hours of community service, which is crazy because Justina is helping in abortion since 2006, so it's almost 20 years. And for majority of this, she did it for free, in her free time, during her work as a single mother. Like, really, she helped thousands of people in Poland, including me. And majority of people who have had good abortion experience with pills, they had it because Justina was working like still for every single day during holidays. She was always answering the phone. She created the hotlines, she created the online forum. And this conviction would be crazy, but also they can say that the trial should be again, the trial should start again from the beginning, and that would be disaster. Like, when I think about it, when I ask Justina about it, it's gonna be really, really hard for us to again go through that, and also to create public sympathy toward this case. Like, of course, first time is always easier. And you know, in Poland, government has changed last year, and many of people think that right now everything is okay because they want to feel this way. I know probably you experienced that also when Biden won a couple years ago, that it's difficult to wake people up and to explain them that nothing has actually changed, and the prosecutors are the same, policemen are the same, doctors also in Poland situation, they are actors, very important actors when it comes to criminalizations. Doctors are also the same. Like, this is not something that it's, you know, it's totally different. I would say that it's even worse because the stigma is much higher, and people feel
Why is the stigma higher, Nat?
because politicians, when they support, when in power we have politicians who are supporting abortion. I don't know if it's in US the same situation, but in Poland they are support abortion, but only, you know, this normal moral abortion. They always say that this is a huge drama. They don't want to be seen as people who just believe that it should be accessible because it is. They always want to justify why, and you know, people in Poland, and this is very similar to US experience, we don't have normal politics. We have like reality shows, and this is very also Polish context, that many people vote for, they are voting for someone not because they believe that this person can do something. People don't believe that politicians can do something. They are voting because this guy is nice, this one is funny,
Yeah.
this in TV. This is
Vibes.
very similar in Poland, and
Uh-huh.
and people, I also understand this need that people like to feel delusional, that is better than
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I also
So
like to feel it. So
yeah, I know. So like you don't know what will happen, and there is a range of outcomes that are basically like the same. Is there any possibility of a positive outcome, like more positive than what happened before, or
no, I think that it's not gonna be positive. I think it's gonna be the same verdict or the trial from the beginning, because the huge problem in Poland with our new democratic government is that they believe like this is their first priority to law and order. If it was a crime, it has to be a punishment, you know, because then we are showing people that we are, you know, this
strong?
good guys.
Yeah.
So I assume that it's gonna be again this, you cannot be this open mouth, and because Justyna was convicted not for helping in abortion. I don't believe in
Right.
that. She was convicted because it was the first trial like this. We are in this situation a little bit different than US. Criminalization was never a problem in Poland. Of course, we have this paragraph in penal code about helping in abortion, but the number of cases was really, really low. They didn't care. Like for them, it was okay, doesn't matter. In US, it's totally different. So I also catch this difference when we speak about organizing, when we speak about self-help,
Right.
because it's totally
Right.
different. I see it.
Yeah, and I mean, it is like a political threat. It's like an ideological threat. SMA is a threat to like their sense of order, I think. Um, and I feel like that is kind of a good lead-in for you to talk a little bit about sort of like what is it about this model of care of SMA that is like revolutionary in nature, and that why are they so scared? And while you answer that, I have to go grab my phone charger from the other room.
Okay, so I'm waiting.
Sorry, it's a real wacky day over here. Yeah, so what is it about? Oh, look at all of these friendly emojis. Is that just for me going to get my phone charger? Cool, thanks guys of this solidarity movement. Thanks. So Nat, yeah, explain. I think that I feel like this is like a more advanced class of abortion academy. I think that these people who are watching this webinar are probably, you and Kinga speak to this, the revolutionary qualities of this movement for self-managed abortion in a way that I can't get enough of. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, one second. I need to change a Wi-Fi network because I'm afraid I'm gonna lose you. 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, I'm here. So I have like many things to say about this, but from the beginning, I think it's very important to say that abortion with pills, it was actually feminist experiment. It was not something that was built in science field. It was science, but it was not labeled as science. And for me, it's in some way, it's a proof that it's working, and it's a tool of fighting with oppression. And I have to say that I finally understood how abortion pills are important during pandemic. That was the first moment when I realized this huge power of pills, because we created Abortion Without Borders network like 3 months before pandemic started, and Abortion Without Borders should and was created to be a abortion fund to send people, especially in second and third trimester, to abroad clinics. And 3 months after we created this network, everything was shut down. And we were doing like twice time abortions with pills that time. And 100% of this abortion was happening in full house, when husband was there, next room, children's grandmother, like the whole families. And like the huge part of our work was to convince these people that it's easy to hide that you are having abortion. Like the huge part of this is actually to convince yourself that you are under good care, that you are with someone on the phone, and you have to act like a person with really bad period. Just it. No distractions. And many of them, they were doing this abortion at night when everybody were sleeping. And for me, that was like we were working like crazy, really like crazy, because also we had to send people abroad for especially third or second trimester abortion. And it was also like really difficult. We had to drive people to German border, and they have to go through the border by feet and then catch a bus to Netherlands. Everything took like 2 weeks to have abortion. So of course pills were like first solution, because it was also difficult to explain to your family member that you during the pandemic have to go to Netherlands, right? Like why? And I saw everything, like really at that moment, everything.
Was that the first time that you assisted with abortion after the first trimester was during the pandemic?
No, that was earlier, like 5 years earlier. But difficulties that time was that abortion was the smallest thing for many people, because they were much more worried about work, about money, about house situation, about everything, because it was, you know, like during pandemic, we were really worried about access to health service, but they couldn't even be happy, that they couldn't even feel relief, because many of them decided to say to their husbands or partners that this is a miscarriage, so they had to also, you know, fake all of this sadness, and that was really hard to see it. But I received many messages that time that, oh my God, this feels like lifesaver. I don't know what I would do without it. And I remember when Kinga told me, it was, I think, April, 1 month after like lockdown happened, that we have to think about access to pills, because pills can be end, like there are not enough resources of pills. And for me, like for our work, it would be end. You know, we live in a country when we don't have clinics. For us, like for me, when law in Poland was restricted, I was 8. I don't remember to live in a country when I don't have to be afraid about access to abortion. And for people my age, younger, older, pills are the only one solution. Not only because of money, but also because of stigma and because of total like lack of access in system, and no access to private gynecologists. And I think we during pandemic, we realized that it could be worse. It could be like Brazil, when access to abortion pills actually stopped, and everything had to be organized totally different way. And we went through it, and I saw, you know, like that was the moment when I saw that sometimes to us reach out a person who have had an abortion with pills many years ago, and she right now had only 2 pills of misoprostol, and she tried just you know, to try, is it working? And then we had to like resend her another package, and she tried again, and we saw how also this attitude to this process is important. Like when you don't have any other solution, you cannot go to Germany,
Right.
you can't go to Slovakia. Like it doesn't matter if you have like full apartment and like good life, you know, like you have to go through it and like forget, or just, you know, how many people decided to do, pretend that it didn't happen. And the scale was so big, like really 250 abortions per day.
Oh my God. I can't even
That was
believe that
the
you guys were
time,
doing that during the pandemic.
that was the time also when we realized how big is black market in Poland, and how many people try to sell you like paracetamol instead of abortion pills, and you know, whenever they will receive money, they disappeared, and you are just left with this paracetamol, but you still try because you believe, right? Because you paid, and like you like, we can explain to you that this is for sure not abortion pills, and like it will not work, but they were still trying.
Do you feel like the people in the pandemic that you were helping, who were kind of having these secret abortions in a house full of people, like, do you feel like maybe they experienced stigma in a lesser way because it was just private and their own experience, and other people were not able to like project that shit onto them in the same way?
Yes, for sure. And we had many conversations also with these people about that. They like many sentence like, I can be only happy because of that. When I'm speaking to you, I have to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pretend that's like really hard.
Mhm,
And this conversation, it was like the conversations about that was much longer than just normal abortion support conversation. We were talking
mhm,
like about many things, and for me it was the moment when I realized the full potential, that it's really very hard
yeah,
to control. Like really, abortions are hard to control, and
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I cannot see. I know that in US you have laws about controlling pills, and I know that this law can really be harmful for many people. But at the same time, I know that that pills are still the hardest method of abortion to control. Like really, when you don't
Mhm,
need to have any other person, it's only you, and person
mhm,
who is helping you is it's still a possible to do it.
mhm. So, given what you have learned just in the last 5, 6 years, and when you look at our situation in the United States, like we've talked a lot about how, in some ways, these situations are similar in that, like, the government is trying to control abortion. Abortion is very difficult to control. The nuances of what each country is facing with the ways that their government is going to try and crack down, the things that they will do to prevent, people from building networks, like the surveillance, all of that stuff, I think is like way more powerful in the United States than in other countries. But at the end of the day, like we come back to this same place of like these pills work, and they're really safe, and you can't make them go away. And you can't make traveling for in-clinic abortion go away. And so it's all just a matter of like adjusting tactics as necessary, as we need to respond to whatever the other side is doing. So when you look at our situation, and you put yourself back in it's like, what do you know now that you want to share with us? Like, what do you think is important for us to know, given where we are in like this moment? Um,
Mhm. Um, I have to say that I probably don't understand the whole list of struggles you have to face right now. It's very hard to follow the situation. What is
yeah.
US like? For me, your country is so big that I'm always so impressed when I'm at some gathering that you speak to each other, plan something, try to do something together. Because for me, I like the situation that I would have to agree the strategy with France. Like I don't understand
Mhm.
why, right? It's for me, like I'm always impressed by this. But also I think that um I think that was the last time when I was in US. It was in December, and I came back to Poland with this thought, and it's still on my mind. And I think that it's gonna be very hard to convince me that I'm wrong with this, because I realized that the difference between US and Europe when it comes to abortion is that you have, like really, in my opinion, amazing providers when it comes to in-clinic abortion. You have like people that I met, at least they are amazing.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they they really put people in the center.
Hmm.
Every time I hear abortion providers from US gathered
Hmm.
at this kind of events, like, for me, it's like, even like, I'm touched by this, but because this is
Yeah,
something I've never
absolutely.
experienced in Europe. We don't have good providers
Mhm.
in Europe. Like, really, Europe is a mess when it comes to abortion care. Law is like one thing,
Mhm.
but access is different. And in Europe, access
Mhm.
to abortion is really, like, really full of shit. And you have
Uh-huh.
amazing providers, you have amazing people, you have good network of this. But when it comes to knowledge about pills,
Mhm.
and when it comes to knowledge about, maybe not even knowledge, maybe in my opinion, you still, and I totally understand that, still don't know how to navigate in this situation because it's still
Mhm.
changing and it's complicated. In Europe, pills are, in Poland, much easier accessible than in rest of Europe. Like, and this
Mhm.
is a paradox that in Europe, we have full medicalization of abortion with pills. You cannot go to an abortion clinic, ask for abortion pills, and go to home. You can do it only in UK, which is
Mhm.
not European Union anymore. As you have to swallow pills in front of the medical doctor, and in many countries you have to go through psychological consultation, wait 5 days, think, then you have to come back to the same doctor. And we call it can't police or swallow police, because, like, I don't see any, like, I'm sorry, but when I tell it to American doctors that they are only in the situation to watch that I am swallowing something, and
Mhm.
then I go to Poland and finish this abortion at home, because this is the paradox, but they have to watch that I'm swallowing something. And when we ask them why, like, why you, like, you don't have to do it, they usually, the first response is because you can sell it to someone. So, like, there is no trust, there is no relationship of
Mhm.
care. This is only a buyer-seller situation, and
Mhm.
also, like, huge amount of control.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
US, I think that you don't have it, but you have good service when it comes to D&E, when it comes to surgical
Mhm.
abortions, vacuum aspirations,
Right.
and this good relationship between doctors and patients. And I think it's a plus and minus at the same time,
Mhm.
in my
Well, and I think
opinion.
that yes, and I think that part of the minus, I'm assuming that you feel the same way, is that we are very conditioned to rely on other people to take care of us and to
Exactly.
think, yeah, and like even within activist world, even within, the broad reproductive health and rights movements, there is a lot of discomfort with SMA. There is a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of anxiety that people really shouldn't be doing this themselves, or at the very least that, like, that's not ideal. And obviously we can't speak in general terms about the ideal abortion because it's going to be different for everyone. But the idea that like someone cannot have a good or better abortion experience outside of the medical system than in one, I think is just purely, it's like a very old school, patriarchal, obsessed with medical authority kind of perspective. We know in the United States that, like, people who are getting criminalized for using abortion pills or for miscarrying, like in the example of like Brittany Watts, for example, a person who was having a miscarriage and doing everything that they could to try and receive medical care. And when she finally did, she was, they called the cops on her for having a miscarriage and seeking care. And we've seen countless times that medical providers are the ones who call the cops and report someone for taking pills. So we know that not all providers are safe, and also that medical racism is such a documented fact in the United States. We have a maternal mortality rate that is 4 times higher for Black women than white women in the southern states, basically. So the idea that like a doctor is better is, I think, incredibly reductive and is an unsafe idea to put out there without a whole lot of more sort of just like better analysis accompanying it. Because also there are all of these activist networks that we talk about all the time. S.A.F.E talks about all the time in Abortion Academy and all sorts of places, whether we're talking about the miscarriage and abortion hotline, we're talking about a hotline like ReproCare that is specifically peer support and for people having any kind of abortion experience, including SMA. There are a range of resources for people who are deciding to take pills outside of the medical system that are like that are staffed by people with medical knowledge or knowledge that is as good as formal medical knowledge, and who are there only to help you. And also, like, what is the support that you're getting after you go take the mifepristone in front of the cunt police, and then you go home and have your abortion at home? Like, yeah, you can call the clinic back if you're having a bad experience, but that's not like the same as being in a doctor's office and that person like taking care and providing you with really good care. So it's like, if it's all going to be remote support anyway, like these systems that activists and really pro-abortion, pro-SMA people have created I truly believe that we can, yes, we have some incredible providers in the United States, and thank you for shouting that out. And also, we have an incredible network of people who are capable of providing incredible care for each other. And seeing it as that, seeing like who is an abortion provider? I think we all can be.
All can, yes, of course. Like even WHO says, I know that Donald Trump.
We're no longer a part of that.
Yeah, I know, but it's symbolic. Like use WHO as a symbolic thing, but it's very important symbol that even WHO says that everyone can be providers because you just need information and you need to have experience, and it's really easy and you can do it, and you don't need, like, when sometimes I'm received a question how the ideal world of abortion would look like for you. And I think that I know that sometimes we think that we're not gonna go there and we're not gonna end there, but for me we are much closer also because of US experience, because whatever is happening in the world when it comes to abortion is much louder when it comes to when it's happening in US. And thanks to the situation in US, like we have huge interest about abortion worldwide. Politicians are talking about abortion. US is like the point of reference, and knowledge about pills is much more accessible because of that. And I want to see bright sides of the situation, but also I think like really, I'm really have to say surprised, but nicely surprised, because I was worried about you in 2022, because I remembered this focus on clinics. I remember also this focus on law and about changes, but the way you responded to this crisis was amazing. And I was in US since 2022, couple times, mostly at SMA Peels gathering, camps, meetings, bigger meetings, and you do like really amazing work. And you right now have probably better access to pills. I know it's not perfect, and I know it's not the only one solution that you need, but you have better access to pills than Germany,
Yeah.
than Austria, than France, than
Right.
Belgium, than
Right.
Netherlands. And
Right.
it's gonna be better, and it's gonna be better because I see your engagement to it. I see your like really that you started to believe also in this method. And if I would have to tell one advice, I would just say that always defend your colleagues, always. Like first, when you have to work, when it comes to SMA in the place when it's criminalized, the user, the person who is reaching you for help should never be more important than your colleague that you are doing the job with. And this is my also experience, that we have to protect each other and never break agreements, never break any line. Even if we think that this person who is reaching to us is like really in special situation, never break this line.
Yeah, that's definitely like not what I thought you were gonna say. And it's makes me emotional because I think that like solidarity is life-saving, and our, like, I think that we have to remember that the way that authoritarian governments enforce their agendas is not because they have an enormous army of like, necessarily militarized police or whatever in everyone's homes. It's because they're weaponizing movements against each other, and they're using collaborators and their informants, and they're turning people against each other, and they're getting into the cracks between people and exploiting them. And we can't let that happen. Whether we're talking about abortion work or immigration or our trans and queer family, we cannot sell each other out, no matter what. No snitches. I think
And
that
I have to say that try to enjoy this moment, because it's much easier to be in solidarity when it's crisis. Then it's
oh my
much more
God.
difficult.
Well, we've still got a long way to go, even in crisis, I will say. But I wanted to like, yeah, I really love that advice that you gave, and I am going to sit with it. And also, I think it's like, you don't even need to like someone. It doesn't actually fucking matter if you like someone, to still protect the integrity of the work at all costs. This isn't like high school. This isn't about, it's not about friendship. It's about the work. It's about protecting our colleagues and the people we are fighting alongside, like, completely. No chains are broken. And like, yeah, I don't care if I like someone. That's irrelevant, really, if they're doing good work.
And the movement, if movement's gonna be bigger, like you will be around many people that will not be, friends. That's normal. Like
Yeah.
I see in Poland, I'm so close to US movement because I consider you as a real friends and
Yeah.
supporters. We
Yeah.
don't have competition and this, I don't know, like always willing to be better, like it's everywhere. I see it
Yeah.
everywhere. It's sad, but when it comes to work, and especially if it's criminalized work, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but my body is my body. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about something that has come up in our conversations over the years, which is like this idea that abortion is a very useful political bargaining chip. And it's very useful for the government, like in our case, like the Democrats or whatever, to keep it just dangling right in front of you in order to mobilize people without ever just like you know, to the detriment of like, or they're doing that as opposed to or we are invested in those political solutions as opposed to invested in learning how to help each other. And that like, it's like the money, there's a lot of money in not fixing problems, you know? And I think that that is the case all over the world and across issues. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about like that in phenomenon in Poland and as you observe it in the US.
I think you have to repeat the question because it was something was happening.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Did I go away?
It was like
Oh.
walking.
I was basically just saying like this idea that it's easier to mobilize people around a potential solution that you're offering them down the road. And like that there is a lot of money in not actually addressing problems or empowering people to take care of themselves and each other. And I think that this is a phenomenon that exists across issues and all over the world. And I definitely see it so much in the United States. And I know we've had conversations about this. So I'm just wondering if you could speak to like the way that you see that in Poland and the way that you see it reflected here in the States.
Mm-hmm. So we have this situation with illegal abortion since 1993. And from like, as far I remember, I was hearing only from politicians that someone has to like deal with it finally. And I heard many promises from really important people when they were in power. And we are still in this situation, even right now when we have like majority in our parliament are Democrats and they could change the situation. But I think I understood it also a couple of months ago when we had voting about the decriminalization bill, because that was a bill that we wrote. And like, because also we have to write bills, you know, like not only helping in abortion, but also write bills. And they promised us to vote yes, but they didn't manage. Only 4 votes were missing to have success, to have change in the law. And I remember that that was a moment when I realized that like the hardest thing you can do when it comes to abortion is to change the law. Like really, it's the hardest thing. You have no control on it. Like really, in Poland, you have no control what at the end will happen. You can do all of this very important work, writing these letters, statements, going for the meetings, but at the end, you don't know what's going to happen because politicians created this slogan that abortion is a very sensitive topic. And it's coming back all the time in Poland especially. It's like all the time when it's abortion conversation in parliament, they are bringing this back, this magic sentence. We have to respect all of the opinions. And I know that it's gonna be all the time this way till we show them that this is not about opinions, but about people. And with peers, it's very difficult to show them because, of course, they will try trivialize it and they will say, oh, these crazy people with these pills and this is not serious, because I know that they have answers for everything. But I think that like really the only one strategy that is helping is to focus on what you have control when it comes to abortion. And it's much easier to provide someone abortion with pills in secret than write a bill.
Yeah.
Like, so
That's
for me, working on this is much more like, it makes me feel closer to the success. And
yeah.
it's very good job. Like, come on, every day you hear from people that actually you saved my life. Like, I don't want to sound, you know, like egomaniac, but like really, you know, when you help people in abortions, this is something I said that to Justyna, and I heard that many times, and I wish to everybody to experience this feeling, because when you have abortion, especially in a country when it's illegal, you know that this person actually is helping you to save your life. Because you think that your life is over, like nothing good is waiting for you. And like you will always be unhappy. And we chose to focus on this. And I think that I see that in US, it's also, I see this turning, that you are starting also to focus on this, to access, to provide, to sellers, to prices. And we cannot avoid this conversation, because abortion at the end is a product. And it's gonna be a product, I think, much more expensive than less expensive, because everything is getting more expensive. And when you live in a country where the access is really hard, abortion is much more expensive than it would be when it's not criminalized, because controlled substance, people have to pay for risks and all of these things, and fake sellers. And I think that this is the moment to really share practical knowledge, like really practical knowledge. Even if someone is just interested about pills because never heard about it, like really talk about it in your hair salon, during your nails, everywhere. Just talk about this. Use this topic even as like this, you know, something interesting to talk about, that there are abortion pills and they are really safe, and it's much easier to do abortion and to not be catched when you use pills, and the source is important. And also use this to this, for me, amazing story with this Brazilian woman who discovered misoprostol as something that was like really happening years ago. And I was at workshop couple days ago, and my friend, who is a lawyer, told a situation that she was they did a video about taking pills with like Brazilian very popular singer, and it was I think Radon, and some doctors who we were working with said to this song that, oh my God, you banalize abortion. And we thought that that's amazing.
You what?
Like banalize, like it's a banal, like we have this say that
Banal,
it's not
like make boring?
like yes, like boring abortion. Like that, you know, like this is like really normal thing.
Yeah.
Because abortion can be boring also.
Totally.
Like, imagine that you have to respond to 127 question. Like, even not a question, a comment. I'm sure that it never will work for me. And you have to convince person that she's not that special and it will work.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that make abortion boring again can be our project 2025.
Or maybe not again. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I was just being glib about the stupid Trump statement, but yeah, I don't know
but
if it was,
I have to
I don't
also
know, maybe
say,
it was kind of boring though. Like What's that? Am I glitching out again?
Yes, but now I can hear you.
What were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to say that I had some problems with hearing you, but now it's okay.
Ugh, it's gonna make me fucking lose it. The internet people have been here 5 times. And the last time that the guy was here, he said, I have found the problem and I'm positive it is fixed. And that was not true, Astound Broadband. And you'll be hearing from me. Natalia, can you talk a little bit about, so like, I think that a lot of our problems come from us thinking that we're special and different. And one of the ways that we see that is that we're obsessed with mifepristone and here in the United States, and we think that we need it for abortions and that we're totally fucked without it, which is a weird way to feel when safe, effective abortions are happening all day, every day, all over the world without mifepristone. Can you talk a little bit about how you observe our mifepristone obsession?
I have to say, I was also at that place a couple years ago, that for me, abortion only with misoprostol was this much more difficult, longer, because it is longer, and like bad choice. But when I was started to work with organizations and groups from Argentina, Chile, or Mexico, I'm sorry, I realized, and that's something that also Kinga was my friend from Abortion Dream Team and Women Help Women was telling me for many years, that mifepristone is like, of course it's a good medicine, but it's not needed. And all of this research that's showing that abortion with only misoprostol only is less effective, it's actually a proof that there is something about attitude to this abortion, because if you know that this is less effective, you are more in the situation that you want to check it as fast as possible. So you go to this clinic or to hospital or buy a test sooner, because you are worried it's less effective, right? And you are more worried that for sure you are still pregnant. And abortion with pills is a process, especially abortion with meso. It's longer, and the cleaning of uterus is a little bit longer, especially when you are longer in pregnancy. So you need to give it your uterus a time. And
longer and longer and more difficult, right? More painful, generally. We can say that, right? Even
I would say more crampful, because pain is something that I will always remember a message that I received a couple years ago from a person who was doing abortion, meso only abortion, and that was her second abortion. First abortion with the set mifepristone and meso. So I was a little bit afraid how she's gonna be, like how she will feel, and how she's gonna be also comparing these processes. And I remember when she wrote me, "This hurts as fuck, but I love it." And that was a moment when I realized that this is like very individual situation. And
yeah.
I remember my abortion with pills. First hour, I was worried that it's not gonna work. Second hour, I was worried that the blood is not enough, the amount of blood. Third hour, I was worried that for sure it's over and I'm still pregnant, because this blood was like not so much, and I didn't have many side effects. And when it finally happened, I was worried that I actually didn't experience that, and that I didn't saw the embryo, and that was all fake, and I'm still pregnant. So it's like, when it hurts, for many people, actually, it's a proof. And we also use it sometimes to calm people down. So when they call, when they write, and when they ask, but I talk and nothing is happening, we also always have to break this question to a details. What do you mean by nothing is happening? Tell me, like, answer my questions. Do you feel pain? And some people would tell, no, but I feel cramps. And some people will say, yes, that's pain. This is like, I've never felt this pain.
Yeah.
And you have to be very specific, not to, I don't know, maybe to complicate this experience. And this mifepristone, when you think about it, it's really expensive. I'm sorry, my dog. It's really expensive. It's, of course, it's helpful because it's make abortion shorter. But for me, when you have access to misoprostol, easy access to misoprostol, and misoprostol is like accessible in majority countries in the world because it has different also way of workings in medicine, not only in abortion field. For me, the way that people in Argentina and Chile, Mexico organize it around misoprostol, it also shows that, like, in the center of this movement is really a practical approach, that it has to be effective and it has to work. And like, you don't have to pay more money because you have here something cheaper, the same effectiveness. And you need to, of course, plan 12 hours. But I know that time for majority of people who are in unwanted pregnancies is like, I have to do it faster. I have to do it right now. I have to do it tomorrow. So if you have access to Miso, do it with Miso. You don't have to wait. It's not going to be like, give it to yourself and, regain your life faster. In my opinion.
Nat, if you needed to have an abortion tomorrow, would you have a miso only abortion just on principle? Or would you have MIFI miso? Or would you go the Cadillac route and have someone give you a vacuum aspiration?
I would go to vacuum aspiration just because I didn't have it. I would love to have this experience. And just as a, like, this is something new. But if I would have no choice, I would do it with misoprostol. Also to confront myself with my body, because I think this is something that we also don't say many often, that this tragedy of abortion with pills, it's not about all of this puking and diarrheas, because we face puking and diarrheas in many other situations in life. Come on, like, I don't believe that diarrhea can be more nice in different situations. It's a diarrhea at the end. But what makes it stressful, what makes it icky, what makes it difficult, it's because this is during abortion. And I think that we are disconnected also to our bodies, mostly because of psychological services, by this division that we are clients, not owners. And this sanitization, I don't know if it's a real word, that,
Desensitization?
Yes, that everything has to be clean and blue and
painless and
fresh. Yes. And imagine, like, I always say to people who are reaching us for help, it's gonna take 2-3 hours. 2-3. The most difficult part with this diarrhea and puking. But the moment when it's gonna stop, in 99%, I can tell you that you are over. And this relief, it's amazing. And like,
Yeah.
don't have to be isolated also from this, really. I know that this feeling that you can have it in clean place with someone who can hold your hand is also sexy in some way. I would love to go through this experience. But
Yeah.
imagine that you have any other choice. That's my first. But also imagine that this is not your only one choice. You can do it in your home, not talking to anybody. This is only your experience.
Yeah. I feel like if I got pregnant, I would feel like I should use pills. And I've taken pills, but not while I was pregnant. But I feel like I feel like I would feel guilty if I went and got a vacuum aspiration, like like that I was like paying someone to clean my house. You
Okay,
know?
so
But
I have an offer to you. I have an offer to you. It's
well,
gonna be,
would you do it? Because if you would do
yeah,
it, then yeah,
I
that
will,
would.
whenever I will be pregnant, you will take me to vacuum. Whenever you be pregnant, I will do medical service with you, with all of the attractions I can prepare.
Do you have this is maybe like a bad question for security, so feel free to say I'm passing on that, but do you have vacuum aspiration machines in the activist circles in Poland? I know you have
Yes.
manual machines, but do you have aspirators?
No, aspirators, we don't have it, but so Polish hospitals don't have it. Like
Yeah.
we are the first organizations who donated manual aspirators to Polish hospitals 6 months ago. They've never seen a tool
What
like
the
this.
fuck? Oh my God.
That's also funny part and sad at the same time that I had
Are
to
they
say
still doing DNCs?
only or only or oxytocin.
Wow.
So only inductions. And when we were sending this manual vacuum to hospitals and they were asking us from what place we have it, we had to lie to them that it's not from India, but from IPAS, American big organization. And they were happy, but probably they would never take it if you would say that it's from India. And this is something that also makes me very, very sad, because when it comes to abortion and when it comes to all of this knowledge, Global South is like really a champion.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the women in Argentina, I don't know where anyone like they have like pioneered a model of care that has influenced the entire rest of the world. And still we think of like the United States as like the gold standard of abortion, which we do have amazing providers who provide care very, like at any stage in pregnancy, and who are radical, loving, like who are people who got into it for incredible reasons and who put their lives on the line. We do have an anti-choice movement that has murdered 11 people since the mid-90s. So it is different in that. I remember one time when I was coming to Poland and we were like going to maybe come outside the court for Justina's sentencing. And I was like, are the cops gonna kick this shit out of me? And you were like, maybe, but no one will shoot you here.
Yeah, because
That's nice.
European anti-abortion movement, they are clowns, like really.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
ours
understand.
are clowns too. They're just, some of them are
Yes,
violent clowns.
but with guns, and that's
Yeah,
makes it
that's
and
worse.
much more organized, I think. Like
Yeah.
I see your anti-abortion movement has much more money than European movement, is much
Well,
more.
and our anti-abortion movement is spending like over $1 billion supporting anti-abortion movements all over the world. Erin, S.A.F.E, communications and international connections person, found some article that maybe we can put in the chat if we can find it, that is like about this. It's following the money, and like they're spending over $1 billion.
Yes,
like,
but also your strategy is also copied. Like really, it's very easy to see from the inspiration is coming. And for us, it's not a problem. For us, anti-abortion movement is not as big problem as you, because also they cannot control us the same way that your anti-abortion movement can control. We don't have clinics. It's not. It's difficult.
Right.
It's difficult to gather in some place, and
Totally.
you know, and they don't have also this support from politicians. Politicians, like, they think that they are, at the end, they are crazy. Like, of course, like they don't want to be associated with them. So it's a totally different situation than US.
That is, yeah. Natalia, is there other stuff that we didn't get to that you would like to talk about? I love talking to you and could talk to you forever and ever. And also, do folks have questions in the chat? I know that my S.A.F.E team was going to send them to me on Signal since I did.
There is one thing I wanted to say and I didn't finish. I'm sorry, I lost my thought. When I told like 20-30 minutes ago that when I came back from US, that I had this one strong feeling that now I understand. And I saw this huge difference between US and Europe when it comes to health, just to access to health. In Europe, in majority of countries, we have public health, but we have no access to abortion. In US, don't have public health, but you have access to abortion in clinics. Of course, the access is shitty, and access is like you have to travel, and clinics are closing. So I see this, but my like the result of this thinking was that doctors are more willing to provide abortions when abortion is actually privatized. And in Poland, in Germany, in France, public service, public health, of course we have public health, but abortion in public service is like really a nightmare. And I think that sometimes we forget that money is also very important part of this, and how money can value the access, not only from the user perspective, but from the provider perspective, that at the end, abortion is a product, and in US, it's only a product, because I'm sorry, you don't have healthcare. Abortion is only yes, so it's only a product. And if it's a product, you have more actors that they want to control it. And I believe that situation will be easier in US someday. But I also think that before us, and you will have to go through it, and we will also have to through it, that it's gonna be a fight about abortion with peers, with doctors, and with medical providers. And this is gonna be a huge fight, because if we believe in WHO recommendations, and if we believe in science, and if we believe in patient-centered healthcare, there is no reason to access abortion pills in formal health system, whether it's private or public. Pills should be everywhere. Pills should be so easy accessible as chewing gum, because there is no reason not to be. But doctors, even the friendly one, at the end have money from it.
I don't know if I totally, I agree with everything that you just said, except for I think the very last thing, because I think that our healthcare system is so broken that even though some clinics are charging $1,000 for a medication abortion, because of the way that like reimbursement and from federal insurance, and because of the nightmare that is like, I don't think anyone is getting rich off of abortion. I think that from what I hear, like many people are struggling to break even. And I think that like insurance companies are the ones that are running away with the bag, hence Luigi. Don't know if you've heard about Luigi, Natalia, but
Of course.
of course. But like I think that providers in the United States, you bring up a good point that like not all providers in the States are wonderful. Like obviously it's a job and there's shitty people in every job, but the vast majority of people who provide abortion in the United States are amazing, and they're doing it for amazing reasons, and they want to help people, and they're in an impossible situation financially. And that's because of our broken healthcare system. But I do think that that's different versus, like going into like a private industry, like you're choosing to provide abortion. And I think that that's like part of the reason why we have so many amazing providers here, as opposed to what you're talking about with like public health system and people being more,
but I think that are important also, that we still cannot avoid the money situation and how money, because I see it also in Netherlands that right now in Netherlands you should have access to abortion pills in your general practitioner, but clinics, they are not a fan of this solution. They would like to provide access to pills in abortion clinics, and no one was about money. Like this is a money problem. When abortion clinic has a money problem, the solution is not raising price of the pills. The solution is collect money in some other place. I know in US it's different, but this is the struggle. Like we have, for example, different in Poland. We have this slogan: abortion should be free, legal, and safe. And I'm always asking a question like, how you can, like, what do you think when you say free with, of course, public health, but with so bad level of care that for an appointment to a gynecologic obstetrician, you have to wait 45 days. So, like, it's of course I love this slogan that abortion should be free. But when we will add 300 patients every day to this system, it's gonna work. So, like, in my opinion, we should also talk about what level of care, which level of method should be provided where, and how we can good finance the other things. Because
how do we scale these systems up to meet the need?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a question for you in the chat that I think is going to make you laugh. And it's, are there many men involved in the repro justice movement in Poland? Or does it also fall solely to folks with uteruses?
Yeah, we had some, like 2, maybe 3 guys. But they are problematic, Like I like them and I respect that, and I'm happy that it's not only
we got 2, maybe 3 guys.
But Yes, like at the end, I think that when it comes to cis guys and abortion with pills, it's also a very complicated situation. Because when they don't understand periods and all of this bloody thing, you know, like I have had many amazing funny stories with speaking with someone on the phone during abortion, and this guy voice, you know, tell her that you almost dying. And like, I'm not.
Oh my
I'm
God.
fine. And yeah, so yeah, yes, we have some, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
hmm Natalia, I love you so much.
I love you too.
My last question is how can we support you next week when Justina is back in trial?
Thank you for this question. I'm trying to finish this something like English info press for organizations from US also, and I will send
Oh, you want
to
us to
you.
look at a press release?
Yes, I will
Yeah,
send this press release probably Monday, maybe Sunday.
yeah.
And there you can find just like some tips how you can support. It's gonna
Okay.
be most social media just to raise awareness that Justina
hmm
still has support from international abortion movement.
hmm
And that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You will receive also graphics with English saying,
hmm
so you will share it.
hmm
And whenever will happen, I think that I don't know, we still have to inspire like each other
hmm
and use a knowledge from each other, because I will always be very, very happy that I have so amazing friends who are champions of the stigmatization of abortion next to me. And whenever you will feel that you have some questions about pills, about effectiveness, about process, like you are always more than welcome to reach to us. We can have online trainings, online conversations. I'm really touched that we have this cooperation,
hmm
and I believe that you're gonna go through it, and it's gonna be someday it's gonna be much better than it was. I know it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. We are going to be okay, and together we are unstoppable. And I believe in us, in part because it's like you've showed us the way, like, and people all over the world have showed us the way. And it's not going to be easy, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah, you are not alone.
Yeah, and neither are you. And we will be showing up for Justina on Thursday. So it's like Thursday morning in the United States, or it would be Wednesday night. Is it Thursday morning in Poland?
It's gonna be your Wednesday night. It's gonna be a
Okay.
Thursday 10 a.m. So
Mhm. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
we'll be watching and
I also want to let you know that probably in Valentine's, I hope it's gonna
Mhm.
happen in Valentine's. We are opening
Oh,
our
yeah. Tell us about that.
center.
That can be the last thing. Tell us about the abortion clinic that you're building.
Yes, we decided to change the name from clinic to a center because it's gonna be more like abortion home. We will have group abortions. So you can come and have your abortion. You can sign up for a group abortion, and we're gonna have this place very close to Polish Parliament, like really close. Because this is the part also of a strategy to show them to their faces that
Mhm.
abortion is not a moral thing. What I learned from Shout Your Abortion, not a moral debate, but it's about our lives. And
Mhm.
I know that for many people, it's gonna be probably difficult to go to a public place and like, go inside, but we have back door. So we thought about everything.
Is this going to be there for a while, or is this like making a statement one time?
No, we have an agreement for 3 years.
You have a 3-year lease at the abortion center?
Yeah,
Oh
yes.
my
And
gosh.
I don't know how long we're gonna be there, but it's a street, the most protected street in Poland, because there is a palace of president there, there is a parliament, and there is office of our prime minister. So
Is
like
it right in like downtown Warsaw? It's right in
no,
downtown Warsaw?
it's downtown Warsaw. It's like really like middle of everything. And you cannot throw a trash on the sidewalk there. Like really, it's so I'm assume that it's gonna be interesting. But also, I invite you whenever you're gonna be in Poland, please come to
Yes.
us. And
Oh my gosh.
we're gonna have a lot of posters from Shout Your Abortion there. So I will send you photos.
Well, you're making me want to get pregnant. You're getting me pregnant with this news. Erin,
You will have abortion with us, and you will have you could also have a manicure artist, because we
oh,
will
I was
have.
gonna ask, are the nailed it people are gonna be there? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Natalia, the abortion dream team has the most incredible nail technicians on the crew. What's their Instagram?
Pazydor. I will send it to you because
Um,
it's in Polish.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also,
But
Erin told me to plug my beanie, which is available in the SYA shop. And it's a very nice, warm beanie. I hope that everyone's staying warm. It's really fucking cold in the United States. In lots of parts of the States, it's like below freezing. So I hope that everyone is taking care in the midst of this onslaught of horrors that the last week has been. And remember that we are in this together, no matter what, and we love each other, and we are smart and brave and relentless, and we got this. We just do.
yeah,
We just do. And it's relationships like this that makes me know that to be the truth. So thank you, Natalia. Thank you, all of you, for taking some time out of your day to spend time with us. So glad that you were here, and we'll be thinking about you on Wednesday night, Natalia. And
thank
please
you.
give
Thank you.
Justina our love. So much love from the United States, all of us here. And we'll
I
talk
will.
to you
Thank you.
soon.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye, Nat.